Welcome to my channel UAS's Dark Secrets. For years, I devoted myself to my wife and her dreams. I worked tirelessly, sometimes through sleepless nights, ensuring she had the support and resources to climb the ladder of her career. Her ambition became our shared mission, and I never thought twice about sacrificing my own dreams for hers. Our relationship seemed like a perfect partnership. We were the couple everyone envied, and I prided myself on being the kind of husband who stood unwaveringly by his wife's side. Little did I know, the person I trusted most in this world was weaving a web of deceit that would shatter everything I believed. It started as subtle changes in her behavior. Late nights at the office became more frequent, and her excuses grew flimsier with each passing day. There were times when she'd come home, her perfume mixed with an unfamiliar scent that lingered in the air. When I asked her about it, she brushed it off, claiming it was the smell of the office or an innocent encounter with a colleague. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to hold on to the image of the woman I had loved for so many years. But deep down, a seed of doubt was planted, and it began to grow. The breaking point came at her company's annual gala, an event I had spent weeks helping her prepare for. I'd even taken time off work to ensure everything was perfect. That night, she looked stunning in a dress I'd bought for her. I watched her mingle with her colleagues, her laughter echoing through the grand ballroom. She was in her element, and I felt a surge of pride, until I noticed her slipping away with one of her co-workers. A man I'd seen before, always too friendly, always lingering a little too long when he greeted her. I followed them discreetly, my heart pounding in my chest. In the dimly lit hallway outside the ballroom, I overheard their conversation. His drunken bravado betrayed their secret. He bragged about their affair, laughing about how easy it had been to deceive me. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. I stood frozen, every fiber of my being screaming to confront them, but I didn't. Instead, I walked away, determined to handle this betrayal on my terms. That night, I couldn't sleep. I replayed their words over and over. The laughter, the mockery, the sheer audacity of their betrayal. But amidst the pain and anger, a plan began to form. I realized confronting her in the heat of the moment would give her the power to control the narrative. I needed to stay silent, gather evidence, and dismantle her lies piece by piece. Over the next few weeks, I became a man on a mission. I hired a private investigator, someone discreet and highly recommended. They uncovered a trail of deceit that went back months, even years. Photos, emails, hotel receipts, the evidence was overwhelming. But I didn't confront her yet. I continued to act as the devoted husband, playing my part to perfection. If she noticed anything different about me, she didn't show it. Perhaps she believed I was too blind or too trusting to ever uncover her betrayal. With the evidence in hand, I began to execute my plan. First, I secured my finances. I transferred joint accounts into my name, ensuring she wouldn't have access to the resources she'd taken for granted. I consulted a lawyer, laying the groundwork for divorce proceedings. But that wasn't enough. I wanted her to feel the weight of her actions, to understand the magnitude of the pain she had caused. The next phase of my plan was subtle but devastating. I anonymously leaked information about her affair to her company. In a series of carefully timed emails, I exposed her relationship with her coworker, including the misuse of company funds to cover their rendezvous. The fallout was swift. She was suspended pending an investigation, her reputation in shambles. Her lover didn't fare much better. His marriage crumbled under the weight of the scandal, and he, too, faced professional consequences. Home, I maintained my facade, watching as she unraveled before my eyes. She'd come home in tears, confiding in me about the unfair accusations and the stress of the investigation. It was almost laughable, her audacity to seek comfort from the very person she had betrayed. I listened, nodding sympathetically, all the while knowing the storm was far from over. The final act of my revenge came on the day of our anniversary. She had planned a small celebration at home, a chance to reconnect amidst the chaos of her crumbling world. As she sat across from me at the dinner table, I handed her an envelope. Inside was everything: the photos, the emails, the receipts. Her face turned pale as she sifted through the evidence. She tried to speak, to explain, but I held up a hand to silence her. "I know everything," I said, my voice calm but firm. "And now, so does everyone else." I left her that night, walking away from the life we had built together. In the weeks that followed, I watched from a distance as she tried to pick up the pieces. She lost her job, her social circle disintegrated, and she was forced to move out of our home. Her lover, once so confident and smug, had abandoned her, leaving her to face the consequences alone. People often ask if I regret what I did, if the revenge was worth it. My answer is always the same. Betrayal is a wound that cuts deep, but silence is a weapon that can destroy. In the end, I didn't just expose her lies. I reclaimed my dignity and my life. And as for her, she'll always remember the husband who stood by her side, only to walk away when she needed him most. But the story doesn't end there. Walking away from her wasn't just about leaving a toxic relationship behind. It was about rediscovering myself, the man I had buried beneath years of compromises and sacrifices. In the weeks that followed, I threw myself into my work and hobbies I had long neglected. I reconnected with friends and family who had drifted away during my years of devotion to her dreams. Slowly, I began to rebuild a life that was truly mine. One day, months later, I ran into her at a coffee shop. She looked tired, worn down by the consequences of her actions. She tried to make small talk, her eyes searching mine for any trace of forgiveness or reconciliation. But I remained polite and distant, refusing to let her back into the life she had so carelessly destroyed. As I walked away, I felt a sense of closure, knowing I had taken control of my destiny and left her to face the fallout of her betrayal alone. The ripple effects of her choices were far-reaching. Her family, once so proud of her accomplishments, now looked at her with disappointment and pity. Her friends, those who hadn't abandoned her entirely, kept their distance, wary of being caught in the drama she had created. And her lover? Last I heard, he had moved to another city, his reputation tarnished beyond repair. Meanwhile, I found myself thriving in ways I never thought possible. I received a promotion at work, my dedication and hard work finally recognized. I even began dating again, cautiously at first, but with an open heart. I met someone who valued honesty and partnership, someone who reminded me that love is about mutual respect and trust, not sacrifices made in vain. As for my ex-wife, she's a cautionary tale now, a reminder of how greed and deceit can destroy even the most seemingly perfect lives. I've moved on, but she's stuck in the ruins of her own making, a prisoner of her choices. And while I don't wish her harm, I can't deny the satisfaction I feel knowing that justice, in its own way, has been served. That in the end, this experience taught me that betrayal doesn't have to define you. It's how you respond to it, how you rise above the pain and reclaim your life, that truly matters. My silent revenge wasn't just about exposing her lies. It was about finding myself again, about proving that even in the face of the deepest betrayal, you can emerge stronger, wiser, and unbroken. And that, perhaps, is the greatest victory of all. The months that followed her downfall were not without challenges. There were nights when the weight of it all threatened to overwhelm me. Memories of our happier times would surface, and I'd question whether I had done the right thing. But every time doubt crept in, I reminded myself of the pain she had inflicted, the lies she had told, and the trust she had shattered. This wasn't about revenge for its own sake. It was about justice, about standing up for myself after years of being taken for granted. That I threw myself into therapy, seeking to understand not just her betrayal but also my own role in the relationship. What had I overlooked? What red flags had I ignored? The sessions were eye-opening, forcing me to confront uncomfortable truths about myself and the dynamics of our marriage. I realized that my constant sacrifices, while well-intentioned, had created an imbalance. I had given so much of myself that there was little left for me. Moving forward, I vowed never to lose sight of my own needs and boundaries again. As I began to heal, I found new passions and pursuits. I joined a local hiking group, rediscovering my love for nature and the outdoors. The physical activity was therapeutic, a way to channel my emotions into something positive. I also started volunteering at a community center, helping others who had gone through similar experiences. Their stories of resilience and strength inspired me, reminding me that I wasn't alone in my journey. The more I focused on myself, the more the world seemed to open up. Opportunities one had once ignored or deemed unimportant now felt exciting and full of potential. I enrolled in a cooking class, something I'd always wanted to try, but never had the time for. I began traveling, exploring places I had only dreamed of visiting. Each new experience was a step toward reclaiming my life, a testament to my resilience and determination to move forward. And then there was love. It came unexpectedly, as it often does, in the form of someone who understood the value of trust and honesty. She had her own scars, her own stories of betrayal and heartbreak, but together we found solace and strength. Our relationship was built on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding, a stark contrast to the lies and deceit of my past. For the first time in years, I felt truly seen and valued, not as a provider or a supporter, but as a partner and an equal. Looking back now, I see my ex-wife's betrayal as a turning point, a catalyst for growth and transformation. It was a painful lesson, but one that ultimately led me to a place of happiness and fulfillment. She may have broken my trust, but she didn't break me. I emerged from the wreckage stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to live a life of authenticity and purpose. I asked for her. I don't know where she is or what she's doing, and I don't particularly care. Her chapter in my life is closed, a distant memory of a time when I lost myself in the service of someone who didn't deserve it. Now, my focus is on the present and the future, on the endless possibilities that lie ahead. And with every step I take, I'm reminded that sometimes the greatest revenge is simply living well, finding happiness, and leaving the past behind. So, to anyone who's ever faced betrayal and wondered if they could ever recover, know this: you are stronger than you think. The pain may feel insurmountable, but it will pass. And when it does, you'll find yourself standing taller, with a renewed sense of purpose and a heart that's ready to love and trust again. Betrayal may knock you down, but it doesn't have to keep you there. Rise above it, reclaim your life, and show the world and yourself what you're truly capable of. Months turned into years, and my life continued to blossom in ways I never thought possible. I established my own business, one that combined my passions with a strong sense of purpose. The process was challenging, but every step felt like a declaration of my independence and resilience. The support from my new partner was unwavering, a testament to what a healthy and supportive relationship should look like. Together, we built a life filled with laughter, understanding, and shared goals. Occasionally, I'd hear whispers about my ex-wife's continued struggles. Her career never recovered, and her personal life remained a series of fleeting relationships and broken connections. It was as if she was trapped in a cycle of her own making, unable to break free from the choices that had led her there. While I no longer felt anger or resentment toward her, I also felt no desire to reach out or rekindle any connection. Her chapter in my life was firmly closed. Reflecting on my journey, I realized how far I had come. Betrayal had once threatened to define me, to overshadow all the good in my life. But I refused to let it. Instead, I chose to see it as an opportunity, a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. I had turned one of the darkest periods of my life into a foundation for something beautiful and fulfilling. Today, I stand as a testament to the power of resilience and the strength of the human spirit. My story is not one